protect your jobs. This is what Janice robs. Protect your money, protect your jobs. This is what Janice robs. Protect your money, protect your jobs. This is what Janice robs. Protect your money, protect your jobs. This is what Janice robs. Protect your money, protect your jobs. This is what Janice robs. Protect your money, protect your jobs. This is what Janice robs. Protect your money, protect your jobs.
This is what Janice robs.
Woo! Woo! All right, you guys, we need your help with this next one. We're going to tell them who we are and what we want. 1, we're working people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want freedom for all people. 1, we're working people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want freedom for all people. 1, we're working people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want freedom for all people. 1, we're working people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want freedom for all people. 1, we're working people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want freedom for all people. 1, we're working people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want freedom for all people. 1, we're working people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want freedom for all people.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Test 1, 2. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking. Time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There is so much hatred, war, and poverty. Wake up, all the teachers. Time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. 'Cause they're the ones who's coming up and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. Woo! Yeah, the world don't get no better. Let it. The world don't get no better. We gotta change it now, just you and me. Hey, don't come out. Keep putting them hands together. Wake up, all the builders. Time to build a new land. I know we can do it if we to do. It's put it in our mind. Surely things will work out. They do every time. 'Cause the world, if we just let it be, said the world don't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah, just you and me. Oh, come and change the world, yeah. Oh, come and change the world. Now I need your help on this part. When I say wake up everybody, you repeat after me. Wake up everybody. Yeah. I said wake up everybody. Let's wake everybody in this city. Wake up everybody. Oh yeah, wake up everybody. Hey, 'cause the world don't get no better if we just let it be. Said the world don't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah, just you and me. Woo! I'm
I'm Sharice McCain. I am a member of AFSCME and OPEIU, Local 12. I work at the Minnesota AFL-CIO, and I am so thankful to be here with you all today.
Welcome everybody to the Working People's Day of Action. It looks like we've got people from every corner of the state, every type of labor organization, education, health, environment. My name is Pastor Eric Hoffer, and I serve at Prince of Peace Lutheran in St. Louis Park, and I'm a leader with Isaiah. In my faith tradition, we talk about a vision for a world rooted in freedom, justice, or if it is not yet made real, we are called to stand up together and speak out together. Yes. So, when people from our government or people in power threaten the fair wages of our workers, we stand up and speak out. When people threaten to take away the health care of our people, we stand up and speak out. When people threaten the communities of our people with violence and hatred, we stand up and speak out. And when people threaten and organize together, we stand up and speak out. That's what we're going to keep doing. We're going to keep standing up and keep speaking out until every single working family in Minnesota is able to live in a world rooted in freedom, justice, and love. Until every person in this state and in this world will live out that vision together. Blessings to us all in that work, and it is my honor to invite my friend Imam Mahmoud to the stage as well.
Good morning! It's so beautiful this Saturday morning to see so many beautiful people here at the Capitol. My name is Mahmoud. I'm a young imam here in the Twin Cities. I'm an organizer with CARE in Minnesota. I was reading the Pledge of Allegiance this morning. And as we all know, the last 6 words say, with liberty and justice for all. The only time those words will have a real power is when people are given liberty and justice in their lives. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said the best among people are those who bring benefit in the lives of people. No matter what happens on Monday, we will keep coming together to benefit our communities for a better living, to enhance our families and our future. With that being said, I would like to end my speech with a chant. Are you ready? The chant is, I will be saying, together we can, and you will say, together we will. Are you ready? Are you sure? Here it goes. Together we can. Together we can. Together we can. Thank you.
Hello, Minnesota! My name is Mary Catherine Ricker, and I am a middle school English teacher in the state of Minnesota by license. And I am Executive Vice President of the American Federation of Teachers by election. And it is great to be with you today.
I am honored to be with you. And one privilege that comes with being with you today is that I get to introduce our first speaker. I first met Melvin Carter when he was a city council member in St. Paul, and I was president of the St. Paul Federation of Teachers. And we would talk and work together on the public schools and neighborhoods. St. Paul mayor quite recently, after decisively winning a victory in November. But his St. Paul story and his connections to the union movement run much deeper than his election. Mayor Carter understands from personal experience and expertise the importance of joining together to build strong organizations that uplift working people and the communities where we live. He has trained political candidates, community organizers, and campaign staff all over the United States. Yet his dedication to St. Paul and Minnesota, its workers and its community, is as steadfast as can be. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Melvin Carter.
Welcome to St. Paul. Welcome to the Capitol. I'm sorry, it's not the Capitol. Welcome to your Capitol. You know, I used to spend some time, I used to be on the St. Paul City Council. I spent 6 years on the St. Paul City Council. And every now and then people would come and they'd say, can we come to the meetings? Are the meetings public? And I would tell them, you pay the rent here. I got good news for you. I'm going to give you the bad news first. Right now, it's a unique time in our country. Right now, our progressive values are under attack. Right now, we're having to fight for some of our most basic rights. To marry who we choose, to live in peace where and how we want, to just be able to do this, organize and form a union, to keep our schools safe, to just make our own health care decisions and go to the doctor when we're sick. Our values are under attack. And even the most basic value, dating all the way back to the Boston Tea Party, our ability to speak up and protest when we say we don't believe in the direction that something is going, even that is under attack. But I told you I have good news too, right? Here's the good news. One thing that I've learned about America, dating all the way back to the founding, is when you try to silence the voices of protest, when you try to silence the voices of people, of families, of young people, of workers, when you try to silence the voices of Americans, those voices only get louder. That's right. So I'm counting on you. I am counting on you. I've told many of you the story about how I first got involved in politics. I was a student at Florida A&M University in the capital city of Florida. We were going to vote on Election Day in 2000. You remember Election Day 2000? You remember Florida and hanging chads? We were on our way to vote. I wasn't super involved in politics at the time. I remember thinking, I'll probably go vote after class if I get time to. I was living with my older brother, my brother-in-law, my sister, and their 2-year-old daughter. My brother looked at me and he said, everyone living here is gonna vote today. And so I went and I voted. My brother-in-law and so many of our classmates got turned away from the polls. This is all I'm trying to say. I got involved in politics because that was a moment that I knew my children would one day learn about. And I knew that my children would look at a history book one day and they would say, wait a minute, this happened in Florida. And they'd say, Dad, weren't you going to college in Florida at the time? And you know what they'd ask me? They'd say, what did you do? And that's a question I'm familiar with, because when I was a young person and I read about Freedom Summer and I read about the Civil Rights era, I would look at my parents and my grandparents and ask them, what did you do? And I knew in that moment that it wouldn't be good enough for me to tell my children about a study that I had read or about a report that I had written. I wouldn't even actually be able to tell them about just a rally that I had attended. I'd have to tell them how I took action. All I'm trying to say, and I get out of the way, is that this is a moment that demands action. This is a moment that our children will ask us about. This is a moment our grandchildren will ask about. In the face of people trying to divide us, in the face of a national narrative that's trying to convince us that we're the problem, what did you do? And there is nothing more American, there is nothing more divine than people who look different, who talk different, who pray different, who worship different religions and practice different cultures at home, coming together to say the people united will what? Coming together to say yes we can. Coming together to say we're stronger together. Coming together to say, as Martin Luther King once said, injustice where? And as our Paul Wellstone said, we all do better when we all do better. I'm excited about Minnesota. So in the context of everything that's going on, I'm excited about Minnesota. You know why? Because I know that if and when somebody forgets whose house this is, you'll be here to say what? I know that when it comes time to talk about our freedoms, our health care, our just basic civil liberties, I know that you'll be here to talk to our legislators. I know you'll be here to talk to your neighbors. I know you'll be here to door knock. I know you'll be here to make sure that we lift the voices of people in Minnesota. Can I count on you? Yeah. Can we count on you? Yeah. Will you be here? Yeah. Whose house is this? You know what I've learned? This is the last thing I'll say and I'll get out of your way. We are here, and we have unions in the house. Is that right? And you know what? When I think about labor rights, and when I think about human rights, and when I think about women's rights, and when I think about civil rights, you know what all those movements have in common, right? Unions. And so when people try to divide us, we know that unions are one of the critical tools for how we say we are united, we are together, we stand together, and we know that the people united shall never be defeated. Thanks for being here. Let's keep up the fight. Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Melvin Carter! Thank you, Mayor Carter, and thank all of you for being here today. Now, I know that Mayor Carter is not the only elected official who has joined us today and has decided to stand with working people today. So if you are a candidate standing with working people, if you are an elected official standing with working people here today, you raise your hand while the rest of us give you a big labor movement thank you. Thank you so much. in Hibbing. And I joined my first union when I got my first teaching job in St. Cloud. And I've belonged to a union for virtually my entire career. My union advocate for my community, and my community advocate for my union when I was growing up on the Iron Range. It was the realization that unions improve people's lives. As we like to say in the AFT, we care about each other. We fight for what's right, and we show up when it is needed. That's right. We care, we fight, and we show up. Our collective voice in the workplace has resulted in the kind of wages that allow us to own homes in the communities in which we work. Our collective voice has resulted in improved access to affordable health care for all. Our collective voice has run real safety on the job because work shouldn't hurt. Our collective voice fights for the public schools our students deserve. And that is why the powerful special interests behind the Janus case in the Supreme Court are out to stop us at all costs. They are no match for our collective voice. We stand up for each other. We stand up for our communities. We stand up for affordable health care. We stand up for living wages in the fight for 15. We stand up for strong public schools. And we stand up for our communities. And we stand in the way of their agenda. Make no mistake, their agenda includes destroying labor unions. But we are here for good. This is not the first time unions have stood in the way of the rich and powerful special interests who would like to keep workers in poverty, would like to keep workers in danger, big corporations that would keep our communities from the services they need and the equitable future we deserve. They will learn, however, that there is power in a union. We are here for good. Today, you will hear from a dozen Minnesotans who have benefited from the labor movement. So let's kick this thing off with Carrie Jo Felder, one of our own sisters. Love you. Whose house? 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 Woo! You guys, thank you! We fight! That's all right. Woo, you guys!
Wow, a lot of energy in the room. My name is Assad Ali Wade with the New American Development Center. I am the founder and executive director of community development organization that works with the East African immigrant community. Dr. King spent his final days working with the sanitation workers like us, workers who were fighting to stand up for respect and decency. They proclaim, I'm a man, and we proclaim we are human. We are worth of respect. We are value. Our co-workers have a value. Our families have a value. We are worth more. We are fighting this fight, the fight that Dr. King and other unions started 50 years ago. We're still in the fight. And I'm very proud to be part of this fight. Are you ready to be part of this fight? We are a nation that embraces everyone. When we embrace everyone for their contributions and their positive added value they bring to our country, then we all have a better future for all of us. Throughout the history of this country, immigrants has been assets and value. They bring energy. They be part of the backbone of our workforce, our economy, our civilization, our science and technology. We have to protect and stand with immigrants. At this time, in this year, immigrant families, the communities that I am from, the Somalis and all other immigrant communities in Minnesota, they feel so threatened. Families has been separated and a lot of anti-immigrant policies has been introduced. We have to fight, we have to stand together, and we have to support each other. Billionaires, extremist politicians and shady politicians are rigging the rules against us. They want to tear apart immigrant families. They don't want us to have a place in this country. They want a world where they can benefit of our labor. They want to live like a fat cats. We see how bosses abuse immigrants. They get away with underpaying immigrants, cheating them out of pay and job protections. They think they can keep us silent because we all be too afraid to speak up and blow the whistle on bad behaviors. I'm here because it's so important for working people to stand together, to stick up together for one another, raise their voices for fight injustices and push safeguards and laws that help all those who are working in this country. Whether you are native born or aspiring American, this fight is for all of us. Corporate interest, supported by Trump administration, wanted the Supreme Court to take away our collective power. The Janus case aims to reduce working people's freedom to join in a strong unions. The forces behind this cause simply don't believe the working people to have a power and the freedoms they're supposed to have. These CEOs and politicians are going after nurses, teachers, others who provide lifeline services for immigrants. We are not afraid to confront those wealthy elites. We don't want anyone else to be afraid to speak out. If corporate forces succeed, they will make it harder for working people to have power in numbers to speak up for themselves, their families and their communities. We must continue to raise our voices in a collective chorus to defend justice and protect all immigrants from deportation and from separation. Dr. King said, no matter where you are, the cry is always the same. We want to be free, freedom. That's what it's about. Freedom from fear, freedom to be treated with dignity and fairness, and freedom to join together to improve our lives, our society, and our nation. Thank you.
What do we want? Freedom! When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? Thank you so much. My name is Emilia Gonzalez Ábalos. Thank you guys. I'm the Executive Director of Navigate Minnesota, soon to be called Unidos Minnesota. And we are an organization working for immigration and education justice. And we also fight fiercely for participatory democracy that works for everybody. Additionally, as a daughter and granddaughter of blue-collar workers in my homeland of Mexico, I know very well the implications of anti-worker agendas. Latin America
has suffered the destruction of worker protections that our ancestors in the global labor movement fought with their lives for. Corporate greed has destroyed economies. Local agricultural sustainability has brought pollution and direct threats to human health. And corporate greed remains the root cause of unauthorized immigration around the planet. They do all this while at the same time shutting their doors on American workers to go outsource overseas. So now these same corrupted, greedy poverty lords and their elected official friends have told you that undocumented immigrant and immigrant workers, my people, are a threat to your wages. That American workers' wages drop, and they all do so, cynically saying this while their already millionaire pockets get deeper and fatter. Let's be clear on one thing, brothers and sisters. We will never win if we continue to believe the lies created to divide and conquer our movement globally. But we will win by addressing structural racism, gender inequality, and the divisive lie of urban versus rural people. We will never win if we fall for the scarcity mind frame of immigrants or workers. Immigrants are workers. Muslims are workers. Refugees are workers. DACA beneficiaries are workers. And let's be clear, our common enemy, corporate greed, respects no borders, no religion. They are an equal opportunity oppressor if they are allowed. So our commitment to workers and teachers and nurses is to make sure our immigrant and dreamer movement remains in a strong solidarity, and we all courageously defend our right to organize our workplaces, our schools, our communities, and more importantly, our right for collective bargaining, for better wages, for universal health care, for quality and safe schools, and a collective future reigned by justice and equality for everybody. Unidos we stand strong in solidarity because an injury to one is... So when I say, when they attack workers, we stand up and fight back. When they attack immigrants and refugees, when ICE come to our doors, when they attack our teachers, when they attack our nurses, the workers united! The workers united! Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Kat Salonik, and I am here with Outfront Minnesota. I'm here because union rights are human rights. Because union rights are rights for LGBTQ Minnesotans. Earlier this month, a Florida school teacher named Jocelyn Morphy married the love of her life in a Key Largo lighthouse. They exchanged vows, held a barbecue, and celebrated with friends and their families. The next week, Jocelyn's employer, a Catholic school, fired her. The reason, her same-sex marriage. In dozens of states, the only protection that workers have from this kind of discrimination is their union contract. And for countless more, a union contract is one of the few ways to combat pay discrimination. Labor rights are human rights, are queer rights, are human rights. Labor unions fought side by side right here in this Capitol Rotunda for marriage equality. And today we are facing some of the same bullies. The people that are trying to weaponize Christianity to discriminate against LGBTQ communities are the same bullies that are trying to shut down our Muslim brothers and sisters. And the thing is, we're going to be here to fight them together. Today, you have a unionist, a queer, a Muslim, a Christian sharing a stage together. So you know that when we're united, we cannot be defeated. The union, united, will never be defeated. The union, united, will never be defeated. The unions, united, will never be defeated.
A million darkened kitchens, 1,000 mill-offs gray, our touch singing, bread and roses, bread and roses. Do you know this one? For they are women's children, and we mother them again. Our lives shall not be sweated from birth. Our bodies, give us bread or give us roses. As we come marching, marching, unnumbered people dare go crying through our singing their ancient call for bread. Small hearts and love and beauty, their trudging spirits knew. Yes, it is bread we fight for, but we fight for roses too. Yes, it is bread we fight for, but we fight for roses too.
Hello, my name is Chad Deely, and I'm the owner of the Deely Group of American Income Life Insurance Company. I'm here. The founder of our company would always say that one must have a sense of moral outrage at any social injustice, and as a business owner, I can tell you I'm outraged. Our founder would also say, in order to give light to others, you must first set fire to yourself, and I see a lot of fire in this room today. I'd like to recognize the American Sustainable Business Council, where more than 250,000 business leaders stand up for a triple bottom line of people first, then planet, then profits. As an employer, I know that paying a fair wage is good for business and good for the economy. When individuals earn a fair wage, work in a safe environment, and share in that prosperity they help create, the entire community wins. To create a sustainable economy, working people must be valued and treated with respect. As a business owner, I know that collective bargaining, worker ownership, and ensuring that workers have a seat at this table and a say over their jobs are the ingredients that contribute to successful workplaces and business models that can be replicated. Today, many people in our community struggle because of a rigged economy and a political system that does simply not value the voice of labor in any way, shape, or form. A handful of corporate elites, divisive extremists, and corrupt politicians are rigging our economy in their favor and chipping away at our freedoms, taking health care away from millions, gutting schools, roads, public services that we depend on as citizens. That not only hurts workers, but leaves little room for the investment and growth of small businesses like mine, an integral part of our Main Street, our tax base, because we pay taxes, and the lifeblood of the middle class. High road business owners, we must fight the policies that only benefit the top 1% of the wealthiest Americans. We must work hand in hand to truly achieve shared prosperity. I am so proud to stand with all of you today. Together we can and must fulfill Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream of economic equality for all, and we can only do it together.
Hello, everyone. How you doing out there? And my name's Brett Onstead. I'm a correctional officer right here in Ramsey County. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get in everybody's head. I'm going to make you think of a song. I'm not even going to say a word. Tell me if you know this song. Okay, so that worked. Yeah, I just want to talk, and I'll come back to that. There's a reason why I started with that. You know, I have been working as a correctional officer for about 24 years, worked with juveniles before that for about 7 years. But that's not where I got my start. And, you know, we all have a story about how we got here today and where we plan to go tomorrow and in the future. I started out at the U of M studying astrophysics. So, you know, it doesn't quite fit. An astrophysicist, child psych, how'd you get into corrections? I started working with juvenile delinquents. That turned into working with adults, and I love it. You know what I love about it? I get to work with people. A lot of them are good people who are just doing time for something that they made a bad choice for. Sometimes, though, I got people that aren't the best of people that I work with. But you know what? My idea is I want to make sure they're safe. I want to make sure that they're getting help that they need, the resources that they need, so in the future, they don't have to come spend time out at the workhouse. So that's my goal. But you know what? It's the Teamsters who've got my back while I'm working there. They're the ones making sure I've got a good living wage so I can take care of my family. Everyone here deserves that. Everyone needs that. You know what else they're fighting for? To make sure that one day I can retire with dignity and still take care of my family. I want to make sure my pension is safe. I want to make sure that I have something to look forward to. Now, here's where I'm probably going to get a boo. I've been a lifelong GOP. That's the values that I really tied in with. But you know what? I'm not happy right now. I'm not happy that they're threatening to take away my pension, my union, my future. And everyone should be mad about that. But you know what? I'm still a member of the Republican caucus. You know why? Because I want to be in there and I want to have a say on who gets to move up. We all need to be part of our party. It doesn't matter what party you're in, be a part of it. That's what's important. You know, when I go back to the caucus, I'm looking for who's going to be governor. Let me adjust my notes here. You know, no one should work in a job that is not protected. You need the union's protection because that allows you to work at your job and do the best that you can every day. One of the beliefs that I have in is that all workers should have the freedom to form strong unions. We should have a good living wage, and we should not fear looking in the future without a pension, without safety. And I want to make sure that working people should have time for their family and friends. I will not support a governor who does not follow those beliefs. I will not support anyone in the Senate, the House, that doesn't support that. And I go to my people and say, this is what I want, this is what I need. I even give them tours of the jail to show them what's going on, what working environments I'm in, and why the union is important for me. Okay, we did that song. I got into your heads a little bit. I want you to go back to your work site, your coworkers, and get in their head. I want everybody to take out your cell phones. Put it on selfie mode. Do this. Everybody, get your cell phones out. Put it in selfie mode. I want you to take a picture of yourself and all the people around you. And I want you to go back to your work site, because that's where I'm finding even more resistance, is that people that I work with just want to stay with the status quo. They don't want to put the effort in. They don't want to be here at the Capitol getting people involved. I want you to take a picture of yourself, bring it back to your coworkers, and ask them, where were you? Get them involved. Get everybody you know involved. Get those fair share people involved. They're the ones we need to get. We need to get 100% membership if we can, to show our employers and our state representatives that we mean business. So I'm going to take a picture of myself, mostly because my dad doesn't believe I'm here. Thank you.
Brothers and sisters, we're union proud, we gotta be union loud. Ask me in the house, nurses in the house, teachers in the house. Whose house? Whose voice? Whose voice? Louder next time. Brothers and sisters, SAIU in the house. Tell me what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. Whose voice? Whose house? Whose voice? Whose voice? One more time. Tell me what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like. Our voice. Our house. Our voice. Our voice. Right on, brothers. Right on, sisters. Next up.
Good afternoon. Good to be in the house with all the union reps. My name is Verlena Bradley. I am a first grade teacher at Maxfield Elementary with St. Paul Public Schools. Yes, I have worked in education majority of my life, and this career is my first love. I find such gratification in serving students and families from my hometown community. I'm here today to speak about the hardships that educators and working people endure trying to live the American dream. Education loan debt is out of control and crippling our students and working families across this country. I know this because I am one of 44 million people with education debt. In Minnesota alone, people owe $26.85 billion. Currently, they gave me an option of being on a 10-year payment plan with loans I cannot afford. To me, this is like a prison sentence or a bad unwanted marriage. However, my union, Education Minnesota, is working to make college more accessible and affordable for everyone. My fellow teachers and I are able to come together to fight for a system that's fair for everyone, not just the wealthy and the powerful. Yes, for all of us. Higher education shouldn't be available to certain Americans. It should be accessible to all Americans. We need to come together. We need to come together now and fight for what is right to ensure people can have better lives and communities by accessing higher education. We need to dismantle the current system, and together we can do it. Yes, we can. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Dennis Drawn, and I'm a high school teacher at Amazing Minnesota School District. Currently, I am also serving in the Minnesota Army National Guard. As a soldier, I know something about military weapons, and I know any plan to arm teachers to stop a man with an AR-15 is foolish and dangerous. If you say otherwise, you are not listening to veterans. As an educator, I know great preparation creates great teachers, and teaching licenses must be earned the hard way. If you say otherwise, you are not listening to experts. And as a black man, I know attacks on my profession are keeping the best and brightest children of color from choosing teaching as a career. If you say otherwise, you are not listening to educators like me. I could go on, but you get the idea. The only way that the people with power listen to people who do the work, you and me, is if we band together to make them listen. Am I right? Don't arm me with a gun. Arm me with a school counselor, a school nurse, a psychologist, a music teacher, and a small classroom I can work with. Am I right? Don't tell me teacher training doesn't matter. Don't say it's okay for teachers to learn on the job. And don't ever tell me you need to lower the standards because people of color can't succeed without being lowered. Am I right? And don't you dare try to discredit or disband my union, because raising up the teaching profession is the first step to attracting students of color into the greatest profession in the world, education. Yeah, I'm a bit biased, but I love your union too, and your community. And I want kids to succeed. I want us all to thrive and grow. And unions build strong families and strong communities. An attack on a union is an attack on those strong families and communities. We're all in this together, and together we will make them hear us. Am I right? Thank you.
To our capital. I'm Mary Falk, and I'm a proud member of AFSCME. This is my daughter. She's AFSCME too, and my grandson. They are definitely my pride and joy. Michael's daddy's a union guy too, and we hope Michael can grow up. to work union and live better. My union matters. It means my family has health insurance that we can count on. It means that we have health care that's affordable and that we can afford to use. When we get sick, we don't have to worry about anything but getting well, not about how the medical bills are going to be paid. It means an illness won't bankrupt our family, and that peace of mind is priceless. Healthcare matters to me. I have diabetes. When I was diagnosed last year, it was a little scary because if I couldn't afford to take care of myself, I could risk blindness, amputations, kidney disease, even death. To keep my disease under control, I need to test my blood sugar several times a day. And these little strips cost a fortune. But because of my union, I get them for free. Diabetes pilot that includes free office visits, free insulin, syringes and test strips, and all the other medications that have to do with our diabetes. I couldn't do that alone, but together we rise. Here in Minnesota, our unions are scoring victories like earned sick and safe time and higher minimum wages for all workers. We fight for all workers, whether they're union members or not. We refuse to leave anyone behind. I ask myself, what will we leave our grandchildren? They're pretty important, and today I stand here with Michael and all of you to defend our freedom. Freedom from want, freedom from hate, and freedom to join together and improve our lives. We're united in a belief that our state can be a place where everyone is able to live a secure, happy, and healthy life. We believe all workers should have the freedom to join together in strong unions. That's how we build a brighter future for our families and our communities. Together, we will leave this world a better place for our grandkids. They're counting on us, and we won't let them down.
I am one of the thousands of care workers who make sure seniors and people with disabilities are able to stay in their homes. I'll put my glasses on. We care for your family, friends, and neighbors. But you know what? Before we started organizing our union in 2009, most of us were paid the state minimum wage of $6.15 per hour. $6.15. Do you believe that? We provide loving care, but we had to work 2 or 3 jobs, had no benefits, no paid training, no paid time off, nothing. No one should have to live in Minnesota or in America working 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet. There is a health care crisis out here in this state. All across America, there is a health care crisis. But you know what? That is why our union came together. That's how we won our union. From $6.15 to $12 minimum wage. And in my union, we won paid time off. And in my union, we won paid training, paid holidays, and more. All for the very first time ever. That's union power. That's the power of coming together in our unions. We win better lives for our families, better care for the people we care for, healthier communities. Together we stand up, we speak out, we fight back. That is union power, worker power, people power. Homecare workers know a bit about attacks on our unions funded by the billionaires, the millionaires, the corporations. In 2014, they came after home care workers, our union. What the heck? Just like they want to do for every public sector union with this Janice. I don't hear y'all. But did we stop fighting? For better lives for our families and our communities? No. No, we didn't stop. No matter what they throw at us, we won't stop fighting for our families and our communities. We're union. Power. People. Power. If you agree with me, with what I'm saying, I want you to say yes as loud as you can. Should every family have wages that provide for their family? Yes. Should every person have time paid off and benefits to take care of their family? Yes. Should every family have a voice in making our communities as strong as possible? Yes. 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 If we come together, we cannot be stopped. We are a force to be recognized, a fire that cannot be put out. Union power. No court case can stop, prevent all of us from fighting for better lives, for our families, for our communities, for the people that we serve, the people that we love, the people that we care about. Our service belongs to the people of our families, our communities. We must stand together. As I leave, I want you to join me in a chant. When I say worker, you say power. Worker, worker, worker. All right, let's stand up, speak out, fight back.
All right, as we fight, as we win, let this song encourage you. You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we gonna walk it out and move mountains. We gonna walk it out and move
mountains. And this Janice case, right? And I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, rise like the wave, I'll rise up, in spite of the ache, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. With you, with you, with you, with you. When the silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet and move mountains. We'll take this world to its feet and move mountains. If you know it, sing it with me. And we'll rise up, we'll rise unafraid, we'll rise up, in spite of the ache, we'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again. Said we'll rise up, rise like the wave, we'll rise up, in spite of the ache, we'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. With you, with you, with you. 'Cause all we need is hope. Do you know that's true? And we've got each other, and for that we've got each other. Guess what, y'all? We will rise, we will rise, we will rise. Oh, we will fight this case, yeah. And we'll rise up, we'll rise unafraid, we'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We will rise 1,000 times again. Oh, and we'll rise up, rise like the day, we'll rise up, in spite of the ache, we'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again. Now I know everybody knows this one. When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run. Let me come down for the fellas. When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there will be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. But what force is on earth weaker than the feeble strength of one? For the union makes us strong. Here we go, solidarity. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the makes us strong. They have taken untold millions that they never toiled to earn. But without our brain and muscle, not a single wheel can turn. We can break their haughty power, gain our freedom when we learn. Oh, the union makes us strong. Everybody, come on. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever for the union. Hey,
In our hands is placed a power greater than their hoarded gold, greater than the might of armies magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring to birth a new world from the ashes of the old, for the union makes us strong. Hey! Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us. And if you don't know it, you know it now. Solidarity forever. Woo! Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Woo! Hey everybody, don't stop kicking butt, never stop fighting. Feed these stories to your children. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for coming here today.